The unprecedented novel coronavirus has brought the whole world to a standstill. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to a dramatic loss of human life worldwide, accounting to more than 70 lakh deaths till now, and ultimately presented a huge challenge to public health. And it is still unknown whether or when it will end. The pandemic might be or will be over, but COVID virus is here to stay. On that note, hello everyone, welcome to SimpliCode's YouTube channel. I hope you guys are staying safe and doing good. In today's session, we'll be taking you through COVID-19 analysis using Python. We will go through some real-time datasets taken from online sources and see how the Python libraries can be used to perform some simple data analytics. We will cover some data science and Python concepts like matplotlib, seaborn, and pandas. If you guys want an in-depth knowledge and understanding of these concepts, I would highly recommend you guys to check out the full course on Python programming language before watching this. I hope I made myself clear with the agenda for today's session. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, consider getting subscribed to our channel SimpliCode to stay updated with all the latest tech content. And hit that bell icon to never miss an update from us. So without any further ado, let's get started. Over to our training expert.
COVID or coronavirus is an ongoing global pandemic of coronavirus disease that emerged in 2019 and was first identified in Wuhan, China. It is defined as an illness caused by a novel coronavirus called Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2, commonly known as SARS-CoV-2. On March 11, 2020, the WHO declared COVID-19 a global health emergency. The virus has so far infected over 22 crore people and killed more than 4.5 million innocents. In India, there have been over 3.3 crore confirmed cases and nearly 4,41,000 deaths have been reported so far. This data is according to official figures released by the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. As the world tries to cope up with this deadly virus, we request all our viewers and their family members to follow all the necessary precautions to avoid getting infected. Quiz time. Now let's see our first quiz in this project. What does corona in coronavirus mean? Here are the options. Is it A. beer, B. respiratory, is it C. crown, or is it D. sun? This is a very generic question. I'm sure a lot of you may already know, some of you may not. Please let us know your answers in the comment section of the video. We'll be glad to hear from you. Now in this video, we will use 3 different COVID-19 datasets and perform data analysis using Python and Tableau. The project will give you hands-on experience working on real-world datasets and how you can use the different Python libraries to analyze and visualize data and draw conclusions. You will learn how to create different plots in Tableau and then make a dashboard from the visuals. The project will give you an idea about the impact of coronavirus globally in terms of confirmed cases, deaths reported, the number of recoveries, as well as active cases. We will also see how India has been affected since the pandemic started and dive into the different states and union territories to learn more about the COVID-19 influence and the vaccination status. First, let me show you the 2 datasets that we'll be using. So for our first project using Python, we'll be using the first 2 datasets, COVID-19 India and COVID vaccine statewise. Let me open the 2 datasets. Okay, so this is the first dataset. You can see here we have the date, we have the time, then we have the different state names. If I scroll down, you can see we have Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan, this Ladakh, Punjab, Telangana and other states. Then we have something called as confirmed Indian national. So actually this 2 datasets, confirmed Indian national and confirmed foreign national, we won't be using. So in the demo itself, we'll be dropping these 2 columns. What we are concerned about are the last 3 columns, the cured cases or the recoveries, the number of deaths reported, and then we have the total number of confirmed cases. Let me just sort the B column, that is the date column, so that you have an idea about the recent data we have. I'll continue with the current selection and sort it. You can see here, this is till 11th of August 2021. So this data was collected from Kaggle. It has some discrepancies that we will see in the demo. The data is available for free. We will provide the link to the datasets in the description of the video, so please go ahead and download them. The visualizations and results that you will see in the demo are based on the datasets that we will be using. We haven't pre-processed the data to remove outliers or any missing values. Now before I jump into the demo, let me show you the second dataset that we are going to use. Okay, so COVID vaccine state-wise is my second dataset. Let me open it. There you go. So this is the second dataset that we'll be using in the Python project. You can see we have a column called updated on, then we have the state. Again, you can see here there are a few discrepancies here. It has taken the country name and not the state name. Below you can see there are the different state names, and you can also see we have information about the total doses administered. We have the sessions, sites, first dose administered, then we have the second dose, then we have information about male and female doses. You can see here the different vaccines administered, Covaxin and Covishield. You have Sputnik V, and here are the different age groups as well. And finally, if you see, we have male individuals vaccinated, the total number of female individuals vaccinated for a particular day. We have information about transgender individuals vaccinated, and finally we have the total individuals vaccinated each day. Alright, before we jump into the hands-on part, let's have a look at the second quiz in this project. So here is the second quiz question. Which is the first country to start COVID vaccination for toddlers? Is it A, Japan, B, Israel, C, Portugal, or is it D, Cuba? This is a very recent development that took place. If you watch daily news updates on coronavirus, you will be definitely able to answer the question. Please give it a try and put your answers in the comment section of the video. It is really important for our viewers to know the right answer. Alright, so now let's begin with our demo. So I am on my Jupyter notebook. So the first project we are going to use Python Jupyter notebook. I'll just rename this notebook as COVID data analysis project. I click on rename. Alright, so first and foremost we need to import all the necessary libraries that we are going to use. So first I'm importing Pandas as PD. This is for data manipulation. Then we have NumPy as NP. NumPy is used for numerical computation. Then we are importing Matplotlib, Seaborn and Plotly. These three libraries will be used for plotting our data and creating interesting visualizations. Finally, I'm also importing my datetime function. Alright, so I'll hit Shift Enter to run the first cell. Now it's time to load our first dataset, which is related to the COVID-19 cases in India for the different states and union territories. So I'll create a variable called COVID_df. df is for data frame. I'll use my pandas library and then give the read_csv function, since our datasets are CSV files, and inside double quotes I'll pass in the location where my datasets are present. So I'll just copy this location, I'll paste it here. We'll change the backslash to /, and after that I'm going to give my file name followed by the extension of the file. I'll say COVID-19 india.csv. Let's go ahead and run it. Alright, now to see the first few rows of the data frame, I'm going to use the head function. I'll say head, and within brackets, let's say I'll pass in 10, which means I want to see the first 10 rows of data. If I run it, there you go. Here you can see from 0 till 9. So we have 10 rows of information, and these are the different column names. You have S number, date, time, state or union territory, then you have confirmed Indian national, confirmed foreign national, cured cases, deaths reported, and the confirmed cases. Alright, now moving ahead, let's use the info function to get some idea about a dataset. If I run it, you can see here it gives us the total number of columns. We have 9 columns. The total number of entries or the rows, we have 18,110 rows of information starting from 0 till 18,109. You see here the different types of variables or column names that we have. Then it has information about the memory usage as well. And this side you can see the data types. Cool. Now we'll use another very important function, which is to get some idea about statistical analysis, the basic statistics about your dataset. For that I'll be using the describe function. Okay, so if you can see here, the describe function is for numerical columns only, and you have the measures such as count, the mean, standard deviation, maximum, minimum, the 25th percentile, 50th percentile, and the 75th percentile value. Okay, now let's move ahead and import the second dataset, which is related to vaccination. So I'll create a variable called vaccine_df. I'll write pd dot read_csv function, which is present in Pandas library. I'll move to the top and I'll copy the file location and we'll change the name of the file. Copy this and let me paste it here, and instead of COVID-19_India, I'm going to say COVID_vaccine_statewise. Okay, so this is the dataset that we saw, COVID_vaccine_statewise. Alright, let me run it. Cool. And let's display the first 7 rows of information from this data frame. I'll be using the head function, and inside the function I'll pass in 7. There you go. So here you can see we have from 0 till 6. There are total 24 columns. A lot of them have null values, you can see here. Alright. Now, from the first data set, which is the COVID_df data frame, we'll be dropping a few unnecessary columns such as the time column, confirmed Indian national and confirmed foreign national, as well as the S number. We don't need these columns, so it's better to learn how to drop the columns for our analysis. So I'll say COVID_df dot, I'll use the drop function, and within square brackets I'll pass in the column names. The first is S number. I'll give a comma. Within double quotes I'll say the next column is time. My third column that I want to drop is confirmed Indian national. Give another comma. Within double quotes I'll say confirmed foreign national. Outside the square brackets I'll give another comma and pass in my next argument, that is in place equal to, I'll say true. I'll give another comma and say axis equal to 1. Let's run it. Okay, it has thrown an error. Let's debug the error. Says confirmed Indian. Okay, it should be Indian national and not Indian nation. I'll just mention it as national. We'll run it again. Okay, now we have removed these 4 columns. Let me show you the dataset now. There you go. So we have only the date column, state or union territory, cured, deaths and confirmed. Now let's see how you can change the format of the date column. For that you have the function called toDateTime. I'll say COVID underscore df. I'll pass in my column name, that is date. I'll say equal to pd dot. I'll use the pandas function, that is to underscore date time. I'll say COVID underscore df, which is my data frame name. Pass in my variable, which is date. Give a comma, and I'll use my argument, that is format, equal to. I'll say percentage %y, give a dash, say percentage %m, give another dash and say percentage %d. Let's run it, and I'll print the head of the data frame. Cool. Now moving ahead, now we will see how to find the total number of active cases. So active cases nothing but the total number of confirmed cases minus the sum of cured cases plus deaths reported. So let's find the active cases. I'll give a comment. Okay, I'll first write my data frame name, that is COVID underscore df. Within square brackets I'll give my new column, which is active underscore cases. I'll say equal to COVID underscore df, and my first column would be the confirmed cases column minus, I'll say COVID underscore df. Then I'll pass in my cured column plus, I'll again say COVID underscore df and add my deaths column. This time let's print the last 5 rows from the new data frame that we have created. Okay, let's run it. Okay, it has thrown an error. Let's debug it. Says data frame object has no attribute tails. This should be tail. There you go. You can see here we have added a new column called active cases, which is the confirmed cases minus the sum of cured and deaths reported column. Now we will learn how to create a pivot table using the pandas library. So in this table we'll be summing all the confirmed deaths and cured cases for each of the states and union territories. So we'll be using the pivot underscore table function for this. I'll create a variable called statewise and say pd dot. I'll use the pivot underscore table function. I'll pass in my data frame, that is COVID underscore df, and then I'll give my values parameter. Inside the square brackets I'll pass in my columns confirmed, deaths, and then we'll have the cured column. I'll give a comma, and next argument would be index, which is going to be my state slash the union territory column. Let me bring this to the next line so it is more readable. I'll say union territory I will give a comma now and pass in my last argument, which is agg function, that means aggregate function, and this function would be max. Alright, let's run it. Okay, now I'm going to find out the recovery rate. So recovery rate is basically the total number of cured cases divided by the total number of confirmed cases into 100. So I'll say state-wise, and within square brackets I'll pass in my variable that I want to create, which is recovery rate. This will be equal to the cured cases multiplied by 100 by the total number of confirmed cases. Within square brackets I'll give my column as confirmed. Let's run this. Okay, I'll just copy this column, paste it here. So this time we are going to find out the mortality rate. So mortality rate is nothing but the total number of deaths divided by the total number of confirmed cases into 100. So I'm just going to replace the names. Here I'll say mortality. Alright, and then instead of cured I'll say my deaths column into 100 divided by the confirmed cases. Let's run it. Okay, now we are going to sort the values based on the confirmed cases column, and we'll sort it in descending order. So let me show you how to do it. I'll say state-wise equal to, I'll use the function sort underscore values. So I'll pass in my variable state-wise dot and use the sort underscore values function. I'll say by, I want to sort it by my confirmed cases column. Give a comma and I'll say ascending equal to false. Let's run it. Now we are going to plot our pivot table using a nice visual. So for that I'm going to use my background underscore gradient function, and inside that function we'll pass in our CMap parameter. I'll show you how to do it. I'll say style dot background underscore gradient, and inside this we'll pass in a parameter called CMap. So CMap stands for color maps. This is present inside the matplotlib library. So here you can see there's a nice documentation on choosing color maps in matplotlib. This is provided by matplotlib.org. If I scroll down, you can see there are a number of CMaps that you can use. Purples, blues, you have something called reds. There are other things like magma, you have summer, autumn, spring, winter, cool, all these. You can use whichever color map that you want, and here you can see the different shades or the gradients. Okay, so I am going to use my color map as cube helix. Let me run it and show you the pivot table. There you go. Here you can see we have our pivot table ready. Now, as I said in the beginning, there are a few discrepancies in the data set. So here you can see there's one called Maharashtra, and there's also Maharashtra triple star. This you can ignore. Even if I scroll down, you have Madhya Pradesh followed by 3 asterisks. You can ignore this value as well. Even for Bihar we have. So these have been duplicated. and here you can see the different state names and union territories. Then on the top you have the confirmed cases, cured cases, the deaths reported, and the new columns that we created. These are calculated columns, recovery rate and mortality rate, and we have ordered it in descending order of confirmed cases. So far our data says that Maharashtra has the highest number of cases, followed by Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. So these are the top 5 states which have the highest number of confirmed cases. Even if you see, the mortality rate is also high for Maharashtra, and if I scroll down, the mortality rate is also high for Uttarakhand. If you see here, if I scroll further, you have Punjab, the mortality rate is also high. Alright, so this was our first visual that we created in the COVID data analysis project. Now moving ahead, we'll see the top 10 states based on the number of active cases. So we'll start. I'll give a comment, top 10 active cases states. Okay, so we are going to explore another very important Pandas function in this, which is known as group by. So I'll first pass in my data frame, which is COVID_df dot followed by the group by function. I'm going to group my data based on state/union territory column. Then I'll say dot max, which is to find the maximum value from the states that have the highest active cases. So I have passed in my active cases column, and we're also going to group it based on the date column. After that, we are going to sort the values. So I'll use my function that is sort underscore values. I'll say sort by my column that is active cases. Let me bring this to the next line. Underscore cases. I'll give a comma and say ascending equal to false. Say dot, and then reset my index. For that I'll use reset underscore index function. Okay, let's check if everything is fine. I have missed a square bracket here. Let me give another square bracket here. Okay, and all this we are going to store in our variable called top underscore 10 underscore active underscore cases. Okay, now let me go ahead and run this cell. Okay, there is a syntax error here. Now let's run it. Okay, now I'll create another variable called fig. Here we'll pass in the plt, which is for matplotlib library, and we'll give the figure size using the fig size argument. It's equal to, and within a tuple and passing the size, let's say 16,9. We'll run it. Okay, and let's give a title to our plot. So here we are going to create a bar plot. So using plt.title, we'll pass in the title, let's say top 10 states with most active cases in India. I'll give a comma and pass in the size of my title, let's say 25. Okay, you can see we are slowly being able to create our graph. The most important thing is to pass in the x-axis and the y-axis. I'll say ax, which is for axis. To pass in the axis, I'm going to use the bar plot function that is present inside the Seaborn library. I'll say sns.barplot. I'll say data equal to my variable, which is top underscore 10 underscore states. This is actually active states. Alright, and now I'm going to use the iloc function and take the first 10 states. So I'm using a colon and then giving 10 as my value. ILOC is for index location. I'll give a comma and say my y-axis to be active cases. Give another comma and say my x-axis to be state slash union territory. Give another comma. We are going to pass in the line width to 2. I'll say line width equal to 2 and we'll give an edge color. Let's say the edge color is red. Okay, so I have my axis defined now. Let's run it. There's an error here. It says top 10 active states not found. Let's go to the stop and see the exact. Okay, so this is top 10 active cases. Let me change it to cases here. Now run it. Okay, the x-axis also has a mistake. This should be state slash union territory. Now let me run it. There you go. We have our plot created, but as you can see here, the labels of the different states and union territories are overlapping. So for that, let me first pass in the x labels. I'll say plt.x label, and my x label would be states. Then I'll say plt.y label. My y label will have the total active cases. And finally, I'll write plt.show. Before I run it, let's collate all the lines of code that we have written for our top 10 states for most active cases in India into one cell. So what I'll do is I'll just copy this and we'll keep adding in this cell itself. Okay, I'll go to the top. Next, we'll copy my figure size and we'll paste it here. Next, let's take the title and put it here. Give a space and we are going to copy this cell and I'll paste it here. Alright, now it's time to run it. There you go. You see it here. We have a nice bar plot ready. On the top you can see the title, top 10 states with most active cases, and you see the edges are in red color for all the bars. On the x-axis you have the different state names: Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala. You also have Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, West Bengal and Chhattisgarh. So as you can see, Maharashtra has the highest number of active cases based on our data. followed by Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu at 2nd, 3rd and 4th place respectively, and in the 9th place we have West Bengal, in the 10th place we have Chhattisgarh. On the y-axis you can see the total active cases which are in lakhs. Okay, now moving ahead, now we'll see the top 10 states based on the total number of deaths reported. So I'll give a comment, top states with highest deaths. Okay, so I'll first create my variable saying top 10 underscore deaths. This will be very similar to what we did here, just that we need to change a few column names. So instead of active cases we'll be using deaths. Okay, so I'll start with my data frame, that is COVID underscore df, followed by using the group by function, and I want to group my data based on the state slash union territory column. Then I'll choose the max function, and within double square brackets I'll pass in my column names deaths and date. Let's make it consistent. I'll be using single quotes. Okay, I'll say dot, I'm going to sort my result, therefore I'm using the sort underscore values function. I want to sort it by deaths column. I'll give another comma and say ascending equal to false, which means I want to order my result in descending order. Then I'll say dot reset underscore index. Okay, after that I'll give my figure size. I'll say plt dot figure, and within brackets I'll pass in my argument, which is fig size equal to, using a tuple I'll say 18 comma let's say 5. Now let's give a title. For that I'll use the title function which is present in the matplotlib library. I'll say top 10 states with most deaths, and let's give a size to the title 25. Now it's time for us to give the access labels. I'll just scroll down. Okay, so I'll say ax equal to, again this will be a bar plot, so I'm using my cborn library followed by the bar plot function. My data will be top underscore 10 underscore deaths, which is this variable. I'll give my index location ILOC. I'm going to choose 12 states. The reason being, there are some discrepancies in the data. I'll show you once I plot this result. So in the y-axis we'll have deaths column. In the x-axis we'll take state slash union territory. Okay, I'll give another comma and say line width equal to 2, and we'll give an edge color to our bars like we did here. So I'll say edge color equal to, let's say, black. Okay, now finally we'll give the x label, the y label. So I'll say plt dot x label. X label would be states. My y label will be total death cases, then I'll write plt.show. Now let's run it. There you go. You can see here we have a nice bar plot. On the top we have the title, top 10 states with most deaths. Now what I specifically wanted you to see was these discrepancies in the data. You can see here Maharashtra is repeated twice, even in our data that we collected from Kaggle. Karnataka spelling has an error. You can see here we have a few rows of information where Karnataka is spelled as K-A-R-A-N instead of K-A-R-N-A. Alright, so to remove these two results, or to ignore these two results, I had given my index location till 12. So we have Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, then Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Kerala, Punjab, Andhra Pradesh and Chhattisgarh with the states that have the most number of deaths reported. Okay, now we'll create a line plot to see the growth or the trend of active cases for top 5 states with most number of confirmed cases. So the states are Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. I can show you. So these are the states with highest number of active cases. Okay, I'll just give a comment saying growth trend. Alright, so for that we'll start with our figure size as plt.figure. I'll use my parameter fig size equal to 12,6. I'll say my axis as SNS dot. This time we are going to create a line plot. My data would be my original data frame, that is COVID_df, and within square brackets I'll say COVID_df, and we are going to pass in the state or the union territory column. I'll give a dot and use the isIn function. So the states should include Maharashtra, I'll give a comma, the next state should be Karnataka, next we have Kerala, give another comma, my fourth state is Tamil Nadu, give a comma, and my fifth state would be Uttar Pradesh. Alright, so I'll give a comma here and then say x equal to the date column, y will be active cases column, and I'm going to use another parameter called hue, which is to give different colors to the different states, the 5 states that we are looking for. So hue will be my state/union territory column. Okay, after this I'll say ax dot set title. My title will be top 5 affected states in India. We'll give a size, let's say 16. Alright, okay, this should be size equal to 16, and to make sure everything is fine, let me just move it to the above line. Okay, now we'll run it. Okay, there is some error again. It says invalid syntax. Let's see where we went wrong. Let me bring this to the above line. Okay, this should be COVID_df. Okay, make sure you keep these small errors in check. Let's try and run it again. Alright, if I scroll down, there you go. Here you can see we have the top 5 affected states in India. You see the different states here and the colors. So this violet or the purple color is for Maharashtra. You can see how the active cases surged around April and May, and then you can see even for Karnataka the active cases surged very rapidly around May and June. Then it has decreased, luckily. Similarly, you can see the plots for even Uttar Pradesh as well as for Tamil Nadu. So all the 5 states, you can see one common trend that after March, so around April, the cases started to emerge very rapidly, and later after July they started dipping. Okay, now we are going to use our second data set, which is related to vaccination. Alright, so first and foremost, let me go ahead and print the data frame for you so that you know the data that we are going to use. So this is the data we are going to use for our next set of analysis. Even this data has a few errors, and you can see there are a lot of missing values. It makes sense because not all the days you would have vaccination for people, and very crucial error that we are going to deal with is this state column. Here you can see in the state column we have India in a few rows, so we are going to ignore these rows. Alright, first let's rename our updated on column to just vaccine date. So you can use the rename function present in the Pandas library to do it. So I'll say vaccine_df dot rename. I'll say columns equal to, within curly braces I'll write updated on, which is my original column name, give a colon. I want to change this to vaccine_date. I'll give a comma and say in place equal to true. So it will change my column name from updated on to vaccine_date in the original data frame. Let's run it. Now let me go ahead and print the first 10 rows in the dataset. You can see here we have successfully changed the column name to vaccine_date. The rest of the columns remain the same. Alright, now you can check the total number of columns, rows, the data types, and the memory usage using the info function. Here you can see it. We have total 24 columns, 7,845 entries, and these are the columns that are present. And if I scroll further, you see here says the memory usage, and here on the right you can see the data type. Cool. Now as you saw, the data has a lot of missing values. Let's find the sum of all the missing values for each column. So I'll say vaccine_df dot is null, and then I'm going to use the sum function over it. If I run it, there you go. So almost all the columns have missing values, but columns such as male individuals vaccinated, female individuals vaccinated, even for columns like the age groups, there are a lot of missing values. Now in the next step we are going to drop a few missing value columns. So I'll say a new variable called vaccination. I'll give the data frame name vaccine_df and use the drop function, and inside the drop function we are going to write columns equal to, I'll pass in the column names that I want to drop. I'll say doses administered. So this is the column that I want to delete, Sputnik V doses administered. I'll give a comma. The second column is AEFI. The next column is 18 to 44 years. Within bracket it has doses administered. Give a comma. I'll say 45 to 60 years, doses administered. Give another comma. The final column that we are going to drop is 60 plus, which is this one, 60 plus years. Doses administered. Okay. So these are the columns that we want to drop, and finally I'll give my parameter access equal to 1. Okay, let me just recheck these column names. First one is Sputnik V doses administered, then we have EFI followed by 18 to 44 years doses administered, then we have 45 to 60 years doses administered. Finally we have 60 plus years. I have added a S here which was missing, and there should be a space as well because there's a space here in the column. Now let's run it. Alright, so we have successfully dropped the columns that we wanted to drop. Now I'll say vaccination.head. You can see here we have dropped those columns and we are left with these columns now. Okay, now we are going to create a plot, that is a pie plot, to see the vaccination for male and female individuals. So I'll give a comment as male versus female vaccination. To create this pie plot, I'm going to use the plotly library that we had imported, which is this one, plotly. Okay, so first of all we need to filter out the male individuals from our data frame. I'll say male equal to vaccination male. I'll passing in the column individuals vaccinated. Need to recheck the variable name whether it is correct or not. You see here male individuals vaccinated. Then I'll say dot sum. Similarly we'll filter out the female individuals. I'll say female equal to vaccination, which is my new data frame, Within square brackets, I'll pass in the column name female individual, vaccinated, I'll say dot sum. Okay, these should be individuals as per the column name present in the data frame. Cool. Now I'm going to say px dot py function, which is present in the plotly library. I am going to give the names of the pies. So first one is male and the second one is female. Give a comma and say values equal to male comma female. Then I'll give a comma and pass in my title, which is male and female vaccination. Okay, this should be names. Alright, now let's go ahead and run this cell. So it will take some time to create the pie chart. Here we go. See, here I have my title, male and female vaccination. So these are the two pies or the areas. You have the label female and the value. Here you have the label male and the value. So from our data you can see 53% male individuals have been vaccinated compared to 47% for females. Okay, now we are going to drop all those rows where our state was mentioned as India in the original dataset. I had shown this to you in the beginning, so we are going to remove rows where state is India. Okay, so to do that I'll say vaccine. I'm creating another variable called vaccine and we'll use our original data frame that we had imported, which is vaccine underscore df. I'll say vaccine underscore df dot state not equal to India. Now let's print vaccine. Okay, you can see here we have our data frame printed, and from this data frame we are taking only those values or the rows where state is not equal to India. Cool. Now what we are going to do is we'll rename the last column, which is total individuals vaccinated, to just total. So I'll say vaccine dot rename. We'll use the parameter columns equal to, within curly braces I'll say total individuals vaccinated, give a colon, and we'll change this to just total, give a comma and say in place equal to true. And finally I'll print my head of the new data frame. This should be columns equal to. Okay, now you can see here, if I scroll to the right and if I check, we have successfully renamed our column. Alright, now moving on to the last two visualizations that we'll see in this first project using Python, that is to find the states with most number of vaccinated individuals and the state with the least number of vaccinated individuals. Okay, just give a comment, most vaccinated state. Okay. For this, I'll first create a variable called vax_VAC, which is for maximum vaccination. I'm going to use my data frame vaccine followed by the group by function. I want to group it by state column, and we'll find the total sum of vaccinated individuals for each state. I'll convert this to frame. There should be a dot, 2_frame, and I'll pass in my column name, which is total. After that, I'll say max_VAC equal to max_VAC dot sort underscore values. I'm going to sort it by my total column and say ascending equal to false, which means I want to sort it in descending order so that we have the states with the highest number of individuals vaccinated. I want the top 5 states. Now let's go ahead and print it. So this will create a nice table for us. There you go. Here you can see we have Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat and West Bengal as the top 5 states with most number of vaccinated individuals. Now we are going to use this table and convert it into a chart. Now I had already written my code for the bar plot. I'm just going to paste it. So here I have defined my figure size as 10,5. Then I'm giving a title as top 5 vaccinated states in India and the size is 20. After that, I've created a variable called x, which is going to store my bar plot. This bar plot we have created using the Seaborn library, and you see here I have my y-axis defined. Then I have the line width and the edge color as well. I've given my x label as states, y label as vaccination, and I'm finally going to display my plot. So let's go ahead and run it. Okay, you can see it here. We have converted this table into a bar plot now. So first we have Maharashtra with the highest number of vaccination. Then we have Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat and West Bengal. Now I want the viewers watching this video to find the states with least number of vaccinated individuals and convert that table into a bar plot that will show the bottom 5 vaccinated states in India, which means the states which have least number of individuals vaccinated. So please go ahead and put your codes in the comment section of the video. It will be very similar to these two cells, just that now we want to know the least 5 vaccinated states in India. So please put the code snippets in the comment section of this video. We'll be more than happy to know from you. In case you are not able to do it, we'll definitely give the answers in the comments itself. Alright, so this brings us to the end of the first project on COVID data analysis using Python. So in this project we used 2 datasets. One was on the COVID-19 India dataset for different states and union territories, and the second dataset that we used was for analyzing the status of vaccination in the different states in India. Now we'll move on to our second project. Okay, so before moving on to our Tableau project, let's see the final quiz. Which of the following is not a common coronavirus symptom? So this question is to make you aware of the correct COVID symptoms. Here are the options. Is it A, fever, B, vision loss, C, loss of taste and smell, or is it D, cough? Please put your answers in the comment section of the video and let us know what you think. Now we'll move on to our second COVID data analysis project. For this project we'll be using the Tableau software and a global coronavirus dataset. First we'll look at the dataset and the fields we have. Okay, so I am in my dataset folder. We have already seen the first two datasets in our Python project. This time we are going to use the global COVID data. Let me open it. Alright, so here you can see we have the different country names. There are 192 countries in our dataset. Let me go to the top. So we have country or region. We also have the code for each of the countries. Then we have a column called last updated. So here you can see our data is still 12th of March 2021, and there are two columns which don't have any information, that is people hospitalized and people tested. Then we have a column called active cases. Then we have a column for confirmed cases in the different countries. We have the number of deaths, and then we have the incident rate, the latitude and the longitude for the countries. Then we have the mortality rate, this is in fractions. Then we have the number of recovered cases, and finally we have a column called UID. So we'll be mostly using the country column, active, confirmed, deaths, and the recovered cases column. And we'll be using the Tableau software to create interesting visualizations, and we'll convert those visuals and put it in the form of a dashboard towards the end of the project. Okay, so let me close this file, or let it be open. I'll search for Tableau public. You can see here I have Tableau public installed. You can use the desktop version of Tableau or the public version of Tableau. So for this project we are going to use the Tableau public edition. So here you can see I have created a few visuals already. If you want, you can clear them out. Okay, now the first thing we need to do is to connect our CSV dataset to Tableau. For that, under connect we have to a file. I'm going to use text file, and under Chrome downloads I'll search for my folder COVID-India, and here I have my global COVID data file. Let me open it. This will take some time to load. There you can see. So on the Tableau you can see the view here. It shows the country or the region. You have the last update. You have columns like active, confirmed, deaths, mortality rate, and recovered. And here you can see the symbols for the different columns. So this is a globe, which means this field is a region or a geographic field. ABC means it's a text field. Then we have the calendar, which is for a date field. ABC are text field, and this hash represents numeric fields. Alright, so now that we have loaded our data, let me just click on sheet 1. So this is the canvas where we are going to create our different reports. Alright, so on the left you can see there are two panes, the data pane and the analytics pane. In the data pane you can see the name of the dataset, global COVID data, and here you can see the different columns that we have in the dataset. So on the top, the ones marked in blue are called as dimensions, and at the bottom whatever you see are marked in green and are called as measures. So dimensions are always represented with blue icons and measures are in green icons. So Tableau has automatically detected the different data types for each of the columns. Alright, so first of all we are going to create a simple table to see the total number of confirmed cases for each of the countries. So for that I'm going to drag my country or the region column onto rows. Here you have rows. I'll just drag it and drop it here. There you go. It has populated all my country names starting from Afghanistan till Zimbabwe. So it has ordered in ascending order of alphabets. Now to see the total confirmed cases for each country, I am going to drag my confirmed column onto text. So here under marks card you have the text option. I'll just drag it and drop it here. There you go. So Tableau how easily has shown me a table where you can see the different country names, and on the right you have the total number of cases that have emerged from these countries. Now this is not the most recent data. As I told you, this data was till March 2021. Cool. Now you can go ahead and sort the table based on the total confirmed cases. Here on the top you can see here there are two options to sort in ascending order or in descending order. Let's first sort in ascending order by sum of confirmed cases within country and region. There you go. So here you can see these are the countries which have very few cases, and if I scroll down you have France, UK, Russia, Brazil, India and US with the highest number of COVID-19 cases. Now if you want, you can also sort it in descending order so that the countries with the highest number of confirmed cases appear at the top. You can see it here, and these are the countries that have very few COVID cases. Now you can convert this simple table into different charts and graphs. To do that, here on the right top corner you have an option called show me. Now I can just click on this horizontal bar graph, so that will automatically convert my table into a bar graph. Again you can go ahead and sort the data. There you go. So here you have US, India, Brazil, Russia, UK, France, Spain and Italy. This is a horizontal bar graph sorted in descending order of confirmed cases. Now suppose you want to display only the top few countries with the highest number of confirmed cases. For that you can select these bars. So I'll select till, let's say, Germany, or let's say till Argentina. Okay, and I'll click on keep only. You can see it here, it says 12 items selected, that is the sum of confirmed cases. I'll just click on keep only. There you go. So this horizontal bar graph has information only for these few countries that have the highest number of confirmed cases. Now you can go ahead and play with the color formatting. So here under colors, let me choose a green color. Okay, now you can mark here, since we selected only the top 12 countries with the highest number of confirmed cases, so what we did was we just filtered it to the top 12 countries. So Tableau has automatically added country region in the filters card. Now if you want, you can go ahead and edit this filter as well. Suppose you want to remove Argentina, you can just uncheck this, click on apply and OK. You see here Argentina has been removed. I'll click on undo, so Ctrl Z to get it back. Cool. Now you can convert this horizontal bar plot into a vertical bar plot. Let me show you how to do it. I'll just remove these fields from my chart. Now what I'm going to do is I'll drag country or region onto columns, and I'll have a confirmed column under rows. There you go. Here you can see we have a vertical bar plot now, and again you can use the axis now to sort your data. This is in descending order. Similarly you can sort it in ascending order. Here you have the option to sort your data. Okay, cool. And below you can see the different country names. Alright, now you can go ahead and give a name to this sheet. Let's say top 10 confirmed countries. Just apply and click on OK. You have the title to this plot. Similarly, you can change it here as well. Top 10 confirmed countries. OK. Now let's move on to our second visualization, where we will create a global map. So this global map will show the different countries present in the map and the cases that they have. So to create the map, first I'll drag my longitude generated field onto columns, and then I'll drag latitude onto rows. You see here we have the map ready, and now I'll drag country region onto detail. So this will give you the different country names. You can see here we have Canada, the United States, Mexico. Here you have India, Sri Lanka, there's Australia, this is Brazil, and similarly we have Spain, France, Belgium, there's Italy here, we have also Greece. Similarly we have the African countries like Central African Republic, there's Congo, Angola, and on the top you have Russia, and this is Iceland, so on and so forth. Now I'm going to drag the active cases column onto detail again. Now if I hover the cursor, you can see the active numbers for Brazil, you can see for India, you have countries like China, then here you have Thailand, Algeria. Now I'm going to drag the confirmed cases column onto label, so that you have the labels here. You can see here the confirmed labels. Cool. Now if you only want to focus on a few countries present in a particular region, you can highlight that region. For example, suppose for Europe you want to focus on this region. If you select it, it will highlight only those countries, and if you hover your mouse over these points, it will show you the active cases and the total number of confirmed cases. Alright, now if you want, you can go ahead and change the color of the circles. Let's say I'll keep it as red. Okay, so this is how you can create a map to represent the different active and confirmed cases. I'll rename the title to global cases. I'll just click on apply and OK. Similarly, I'll change the sheet name as well to global cases. Okay, now from this map you can see the countries such as USA, Brazil, you have Russia and India with the highest number of COVID-19 cases. Even in countries such as Spain, the numbers are really high, and a lot of the African countries were also impacted. And these small countries like Solomon Islands, you have Fiji Islands with few number of cases, even for New Zealand as well. Alright, now moving to our next visual. Now we are going to see the top 10 countries where highest deaths have been reported so far due to the pandemic. For this we will create a tree map now. So first of all, I'll choose my country column and put it under columns, and then I'll select the deaths column and put it under rows. I have the bar plot ready. Next I'll go to show me, and here I have the option to select a tree map. You see here, for a tree map you need one or more dimensions and one or two measures. So I'll just click on this tree map. Okay, here you can see I have my tree map ready. So Tableau has automatically adjusted my fields. So it has removed my fields from rows and columns and put it under size, color and label. Next, I will drag my country column and put it under filters. And from here, I'm going to choose top. I'll filter by field. I'm going to select the top 10 countries based on the total number of deaths. Just click on apply and click on OK. So these are the countries: US, Brazil, Mexico, India, United Kingdom, Italy, Russia, Spain, France, Germany, which have the highest number of deaths reported. Now you can also give the label. I'll put the deaths column under label so that you have the labels here. Alright, so this was a tree map that we created to show the top 10 countries with the highest number of deaths. I'll just change the title top 10 deaths cases. Now you can also edit the title in terms of the font, color and everything. I'll keep it Tableau bold and I'll choose this as 14. Click on apply and OK. There you go. Similarly, let's rename the sheet to death cases. Cool. Now moving to the next visualization where we'll see about the recoveries. So before we move on to create a visualization for the top 10 or let's say the bottom 10 countries in terms of recoveries, let me show you how to change the color of this tree map. So here by default Tableau selects the automatic palette. If you want, you can change it to different palettes. Let's say I'll go with gold, purple, diverging. Click on apply and I'll click on OK. If this is not looking that great, you can select another one. Let's say red, green, white, diverging. Cool. Now let's go to our fourth visualization, which is about top 10 recoveries. I'll click on apply and OK. First, I'll drag my country or the region column under columns, and then I'll take the recovered column under rows. This time, instead of sum, we are going to choose average. Okay. And here I'll select my packed bubble chart. After that, I am going to drag my country or region onto colors, and then I'll also put country under filters. So I'll go to the top menu and I'll filter it by field. I want to show the top 10 countries based on the average number of recoveries. So click on apply and OK. You can see here these are the countries that have the highest number of average recoveries. You have India, Brazil, Turkey, Italy, Argentina, Germany, Colombia, Russia, Poland and Mexico. I'll just rename this sheet to recovery cases. Cool. Now let's move on to our next visual. Okay, so here we are going to create a scatter plot to analyze the total confirmed cases versus the total number of deaths. So whenever you have two numeric fields, it is better to create a scatter plot to visualize the cases. So for that, I am going to drag my confirmed cases to columns, and then I'll drag my deaths column onto rows. Okay. So by default, the shape is a circle, and To see all the countries, I'm going to drag country under color. I'll say add all members. There you go. Here you can see the legend for the different countries, and on the top you have US with the highest number of confirmed cases and the highest number of deaths as per our dataset. Then you also have Brazil here, which has the second highest number of deaths. Then you have Mexico followed by India. So this data is not a very recent data. This data was last updated on March. Now from this we are going to filter out the top 10 countries with the highest number of confirmed cases and the deaths. So for that I'll drag my country column onto filters, and I'll go to top, I'll filter by field, I'll say top 10, and I'll click on apply and OK. So here you can see we have Siberia, Sweden, Belgium, Netherlands, Spain, Italy, France, Russia, UK, and you have Brazil. So these are the countries which have the highest number of active cases. So instead of active, let's select deaths, click on apply and OK. Okay, now if you see we have US here, Brazil, India, then Mexico, UK, Russia, France, Italy, Germany and Spain, which have the highest number of deaths reported so far. Now if you want, you can change the size of the circles based on the highest number of active cases. So I can just drag my active column under size. So you can see here Spain, France, UK have the highest number of active cases. Now let's say instead of active, I'll just have my confirmed cases under size. Okay, and then you can also change the shape from circle to any other shape, let's say square or this asterisk. Okay, let's go with the triangle. Cool. I'll rename this sheet to confirmed versus deaths. Click on apply and OK. I'll rename this to confirmed versus deaths. Alright. Now moving on to our next visualization, where we will see the mortality for each of the countries and figure out which countries have the highest mortality rate. Okay. So first I'll drag mortality rate onto column, and then I'll have my country column under rows. So there you go. Now let me go ahead and sort it in descending order. So you can see here you have Yemen, there is Mexico, Syria, Sudan, Egypt, Ecuador, China and other countries which have the highest mortality rate. And you can also select the country region under colors. Let's go ahead and edit the color. Instead of automatic, let's select summer, or you can go for some other palette. Let's say Tableau Classic Medium. I'll assign this palette. Yes, I'll apply and OK. Alright. Finally, we'll move ahead to our last visualization, where we'll create a dual axis chart. So the dual axis chart in Tableau will have one column and two different visualizations on the rows. So here you have one column, and on the right also you'll have one column with their own axis values. So this dual axis chart will be for recovered cases and the death cases. Let me show you how to do it. So I'll drag my country field onto columns, and then I'll choose recovered column onto rows. So here I have got my line chart, and the second column I'm going to choose is the deaths column. I'll hold my cursor and I'll place it when I get this green color rectangle. I'll place it here. There you go. So now we have created two measure names, deaths and recovered, and here you have the access values. You can synchronize the access values if you want. The recovered cases are in millions and the deaths are in thousands. Now let's go ahead and change the recovered line to bars, and we're going to short it. Okay, now let's change the color. We'll select, let's say, blue. I'll assign the palette, click on apply and OK. And if you want, you can also change the color for deaths from blue to, let's say, winter. I'll assign the palette, click on apply and OK. You can have whichever color you want, and to make the axis same, you can just right click on this axis and click on synchronize axis. So here you can see the values. Let's keep it in thousands only. Cool. I'll rename this sheet to dual axis. Okay, now before we move ahead and create our final dashboard, I want to show you one more feature in Tableau, that is to format the labels. So you can see here, instead of writing 5,30,821, we can change this in terms of millions or thousands and write it as, let's say, 530k. To do that, what I'll do is I'll go to format, and here we have the option to select font, and in font I'll go to fields and click on sum of deaths, and here in this pane I'll choose number custom. Decimal places will be 0, and display units I'll select thousands. You can see here the values have been changed to 531k, 193k, 158k, so on and so forth. Cool. Now let's go ahead and create our final dashboard. Here is the option to create a new dashboard. So I'll just click on new dashboard, and we are going to increase the size here so that it fits our view. So we have selected the default view, and the size I'm going to choose here is automatic. So now we can drop our sheets one by one. First, let's drag the global cases sheet here. Okay, you can see we have our map. Now I'm going to choose the top 10 confirmed cases. Alright, and after that we'll choose the death cases sheet. So Tableau will prompt you to place the sheet at the right location. Okay, and now I'll choose my fifth visual, which is confirmed versus deaths, and if you want you can choose any one of these. Let's say I'll take the dual axis chart. Now you can just minimize the sheets and adjust the sizes to make it look better. Okay, so you can see here we have our dashboard ready. Now you can still go ahead and customize the dashboards in terms of adding different filters to it. We are not going to show that. Now you are getting some messages here, 2 unknown, 4 nulls. You can remove them as well. And here on the top you have the option to click on the presentation mode. There you go. So this is our final dashboard that we have created. Alright, so this brings us to the end of the second coronavirus data analysis project using Tableau. Now you can just click on escape to go back. Alright, now you can save this and this will be published in the Tableau public platform under your profile.
And that brings us to the end of today's session, guys. I hope you all have understood how to perform a detailed analysis using Python libraries like Matplotlib, NumPy, and Pandas on this COVID-19 dataset. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you found this tutorial informative and helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and colleagues. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our channel SimpliCode for more such amazing content. If you guys have further queries regarding any of the topics covered in today's session, feel free to let us know in the comment section below, and a team of experts will be more than happy to help resolve all your queries at the earliest. Until next time, stay safe and keep coding.